So we're really excited to move into the presenter portion of our conference and to learn from some of the Chippsters. So I'll welcome the next speaker to the stage, and while he's coming up here, I'll do a brief introduction. But Justin might be one of the first people that we ever demoed Chipp to. We were in Chicago for an opportunity meeting our investors, M25, and he knew a friend of a friend, and we met at a coffee shop, and he became one of our first users. And what I love about what he's doing is he's actually using AI in an industry that you wouldn't expect, and using it in a thoughtful way in an area that I think there's a lot of fear. So thank you for coming. Great to be here. He's recording everything through his AI glasses so that he can share it with the Chicago community. But
That's right.
Good to have you. Thank you, Justin.
Yeah. Well, I'm so happy to be here to see all of you. And let me just tell you a little bit about my world. It's the 25th year of running my brand agency, Rule29. And 2 years ago, we joined a company called O'Neill Printing. They're our oldest client. So now we're a part of a family of companies. And the reason why we made that move is because what other industry could be more disrupted than print? It was my thought, right? And so I'm thinking communication, technology, design, brand, storytelling, and AI. What a beautiful match. And so this is how it started. When I met Scott, I don't know, year and a half ago, I decided I needed to just take my schedule and just try to spend months and months to try to deeply dig in and test platforms. Up until my introduction to Chipp, it was frustrating. I can code a little bit, but I'm not a coder, right? I'm a brand strategist, I'm a creative. And then I met this knucklehead. He was in Chicago, and I was so blown away by the vision. I was like, I'm in. I want to bring me in. I just want to use this and figure out how I can do things for my clients and products, but really also how can I take this to my team at Rule29, and how can we be more efficient? How can we be ahead of the train that's coming? And a lot of my team was super intimidated. So what I'm going to share with you today is some of the things that I did with my team, some of the things that I've done with my clients, and how we're bringing it in. For some of you, this may be like, duh, I already do that. But I'm really interested in sharing this story because I think it's valuable for us to continue to share how we do these things together. So one of my times I ended up creating a design thinking in the age of AI course for LinkedIn Learning because I was concerned. Every time I talked about AI on LinkedIn, I would have my creative brand agency friends just bash me, get on me. Why are you doing this? Kind of like you're a traitor, right? Not everyone, but what I realized is so many people were just scared. Illustrators, coders, right? You just talked about you do a lot of your code through Claude. The reality is it is being disrupted. But what I really wanted to figure out is how can I create and keep my human agency and creativity without replacing it? How can I use this tool as a co-pilot to help me expand my reach and create new opportunities? In the design world, I remember when technology came out to design on the computer. Everyone's like, oh, we're screwed, right? Or the web was created. And when web technology came in, it actually created more jobs and more opportunities. I believe with all my being, that's what's going to happen here. And we don't know what that looks like yet. So when I sat down with my team, I said, here's why we need to get into AI, right? So many of our clients were overwhelmed. They want smarter, faster products. And for us to compete as an agency, I had to adopt AI. But I had resistance on every level, right? And for a lot of our corporate teams, innovation feels so out of reach. They're like, I got to get this done. What's the next thing I can do? And what are you going to do for me? You're a brand agency. You're just going to help me with process and storytelling, which, again, is a big deal. And I was like, no, we can actually come in and help you think about how to tell your story different and how to create efficiency to really kind of get to the end goal of engaging with your customers. And so really that's what we dug into. And I love stats. We have an AI Slack channel. My team hates it, but I send them updates of how awesome AI is and why we should continue to learn. But this is really what we wanted to figure out is how can we take Chipp and how can we do things internally that would make us more efficient and more able to sell our services. And from that experience, what we learned, then be able to speak knowledgeably to our clients. And that really was our first tactic. And I love the fact that we're talking about teamwork this year versus just building, because the more my team and I work on things, the more ideas come together, right? The more we collaborate with our clients, the more teamwork comes together. And I think that's really a beautiful part of AI that I don't think a lot of people realize yet. So winning proposals, just really simple thing. One of the things in our industry, it's gotten faster, and faster. And with AI, I win more proposals than I ever have. I've gone in, I've had it look at all my proposals, what won, what lost. I add more industry ideas. I add research. I've built my own chips on how to do this, and it's become incredible. Like, people will talk to me at the C-level, and they'll be like, I didn't even know this about our industry. And I was like, oh, you should probably use AI. So here are just some ways that we've done it. These are pretty simple. I think in our world, image is something you have to be sensitive to, right? Just make sure you're using the right rights and everything else. But here's the ways that we've really brought it into our clients in a different way. So this is a company called Ninefold Collective. 9 printers from around the country all have different capabilities. So how do we, first, train them on how to sell the collective? 2, how do we teach potential customers why the collective is awesome for them? We created an internal and external chip. Clients can come to the website. It's a lead gen. They ask questions. So we're learning from their questions on how to continue to make the Chipp AI experience better. And we're increasing lead gen with much deeper understanding. So this was one of those things where, it was a kind of a tight budget and experiment, and I'm like, we got you. I got something special for you. How many of you love talking politics with your family? All right. So this came out of one of those conversations. We were talking about Thanksgiving was coming up, and everyone has an uncle that wants to, throw a wrench in the dinner. So we actually created, this isn't launched yet, we're about to launch it, an actual website experience where you go in and you have positive discourse on political and cultural challenges. And we created this for a client who wanted to be able to give a space for people to go, no matter what side of the aisle you're on, and get real, truthful, factual support. And it's gonna be really interesting how it works, but so far, as we've been testing it, it's been amazing. And we're currently a B Corp, and we wanted to actually start our own movement. So we're creating something called On Purpose, which is helping clients, helping businesses understand how to activate their culture around purpose. And the main driver of this is an AI tool that teaches you how to do that at every level of your business, from governance to HR to language to everything. Couldn't do that without Chipp. This is a dream I've had for years, and I'm so excited to be able to put that in action. And we have an insurance company that has a lot of compliance issues. And the great thing about Chipp is we can actually program everything into that. So as we're designing, we know what to do and what not to do. So again, it's a way for us to be more efficient. So these are all ways that we've done this. Now, my role as Chief Creative Officer for both companies, I have a bunch of people who just are used to doing things a certain way. And so one of the things that I did with one of my partners is figure out how can we do these different chips to not only get engagement, but to create efficiencies and show people the power of AI. So these are some of the ways we've done that. This one here is huge. I mean, that's just more dollars at the bottom line, right? So it's been really exciting. We use Chipp now as just part of our feature set. Anytime we go to a client, AI is part of our service. And what's great is it allows us to teach them about things that maybe they didn't know or were too scared to look at. These are some of the stats I share with clients, and I think the reality is we get into it and we start talking about how to sell. And so what we've learned, when we are talking to someone about AI, we don't sell AI. We listen, what are the problems and challenges you have? And then we come back to them with those solutions, right? If you're struggling with how to sell it, you've probably done it a lot for yourself. We found start with a single pain point, right? And really show their client or your business how AI can solve that pain point. Also, I love, just making it fun. Just don't call it HR bot. I mean, who wants to talk to an HR bot? Give it a brand, give it a name, have fun. But I also think use AI to make you more human, not less, right? Make sure you understand what problems you're trying to solve and create that experience for your customer. So I was gonna have you repeat after me, but you don't. I think AI should should support your brilliance, not replace it. And I think too often people are like, I'm gonna do AI and it's gonna do all this for me. No, you have to have agency over it. You have to have strategy around it. And you have to have empathy and care around it, right? When you put your human element with the AI, that's rocket fuel. That's what we found. So I'll make this a little more practical. This is one of the slides I share with my clients when we're talking about them. We have little sessions with them. And they're like, well, I don't know what to do. That's just a lot of information. So I want to share this. Maybe this will be helpful for you. But, most of us have probably created a content buddy. A lot of our clients haven't, right? So we take them through all these different things that they can do, right? And I think my advice to my clients are always create one thing to solve that pain point, make it visible and fun, and share it with your team. I say all this because I still have a lot of pushback on my team because they're concerned about creative. We're doing this. What value am I bringing to that? And so what I do is I keep sharing with them, be curious, and consistently explore, how can we take these different technologies and experiences and make it amazing for our clients? And so I subscribe to Superhuman AI. I don't know if any of you do. I love that newsletter. It's overwhelming at times because every day there's like 800 new AI things. So I skim to a couple points I really have loved. I also dedicate several hours a week. I just took it out of my schedule and make sure that I spend time not only learning more about Chipp or looking at our data, but also what other AI is out there that I can bring into my business. And then as I find things, I create documents for my team. We have knowledge centers that they go in, because I have people all varying levels of interest, right? So I have one person who's like, I just don't want to learn something new. I'm like, well, you don't really have to learn anything. You just have to talk to it and understand what you want, right? But let's say one of my teammates was really concerned about making sure that she prompted everything correctly, right? So I have everything from prompt 101 tips to use these different attributes and when you're working with AI, and it's incredible how much more adoption comes just because you give them a little leeway into AI teamwork. So I share this with you because although we here may all like AI, love AI, use AI all the time, not everyone, at least in my world, does. And so I try to be conscious of that. I try to make sure that sometimes when I'm in a room talking about how excited I'm about AI, the room gets really quiet. And I was like, ooh, maybe I should back up and ask them about that. And most of the time they're like, I don't know, man, it kind of freaks me out, or I kind of do it a little chat GPT-ish, but it doesn't work the way I want it. And so we end up having a really great conversation. But I think the curiosity part, the listening part with clients leads to credibility. And that's really one of the key things that we have found. For me, I tell my team, it's not going away. This is our world, and this is exciting. Embrace it. Also, more and more of the conversations I have with C-suites, they're like, yeah, I want to use AI. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but yeah, I want to do it. And I'm like, great, I can help you with that. So these are some things that I just do. I'm kind of a list maker. This is how I go about my week to try new things, right? And so this is some of the things that I give to my team and clients of just, here's how you can just start, right? Dedicate 30 minutes, keep an AI share list like I just talked to you about. And then one of the things that I'm excited about is doing little bots with my team and just having like a fun, afternoon where I buy them lunch and we create something together. I think that's a way to show teamwork and collaboration and to create something that's really fun. I think AI won't transform your business, but you will. Thanks so much.